What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Monday, October 14th, 2024, and I have an emergency update to share with you guys. Right now, it is 18:49 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from the Middle East and from Asia, also from Eastern Europe. Before I get into all that, I just want to show you that U.S. nuclear forces are on high alert this evening. What you're looking at here are the flight paths of two U.S. nuclear war command and control planes up in the air, and also a presidential doomsday plane up in the air over Iowa earlier this afternoon. So our nuclear forces are definitely on high alert in anticipation for this massive Israeli strike on Iran. So Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel has approved plans to strike Iran, with reports indicating that the attack could occur soon. And Israeli Channel 14, quoting Israeli officials who said that Israel's response to Iran will be strong, likely prompting Iranian retaliation. We need to prepare for a significant conflict that might draw in the Americans, which Iran wants to avoid. So this is very serious. They're talking about a major Middle Eastern war that would start as a result of this Israeli strike on Iran. And Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant and the Israeli Chief of Staff Herzi Halevi held a secret meeting last night at an intelligence base in preparation for the strike on Iran. So that is very, very important information. They were at an intelligence base. So what they're going to be doing there is looking at satellite information, various intelligence information to see where the targets are. If they're going to, let's say, try to assassinate Khamenei, the leader of Iran, they need good intelligence, so they hit precisely where he's located, which Israel has shown that they can do. Okay, they took out Nasrallah, they took out the leader of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, so they definitely have some of the best intelligence in the world, if not the best intelligence in the world. So that is very, very important. Okay, that means the strike is coming very soon. And the THAAD missile defense system provided by the U.S. to Israel is going to be arriving in Israel tomorrow, according to Bloomberg. So THAAD is Terminal High Altitude Area Defense. It's an air defense system specifically made to shoot down high altitude missiles, okay, medium and long range missiles. Unlike the Patriot system that's in Ukraine, it can shoot down long-range missiles, okay? The Patriot system is for short-range threats, lower-altitude threats. The THAAD system can shoot the interceptors much higher into space than the Patriot missiles can, okay? So they actually have these deployed in South Korea to protect South Korea, Taiwan, the Philippines, Australia, and Guam from North Korean and Chinese ballistic missiles, okay? So this is a very serious missile system. It's one of our best air defense systems. Also, another aircraft carrier strike group is expected to arrive in the Eastern Mediterranean in the coming days. So this is the Harry Truman Carrier Strike Group. So what you're looking at here is a map from USNI News showing where all of the U.S. Navy assets are around the world. And here you can see the Harry Truman Carrier Strike Group getting close to the Straits of Gibraltar. And you can see the Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group is already near Iran. Okay, so they're going to have one carrier strike group in the Mediterranean and then one over here near Iran, basically covering both sides of the Middle East. So in my opinion, I initially thought that Israel was going to strike today, but I think Israel is going to strike once this carrier strike group enters the Eastern Mediterranean and it's in position, and once that THAAD system arrives tomorrow and they get it set up and they get it working, okay? Remember, it's probably going to take a couple of days for them to get everything set up. So it's looking more like later on this week, maybe in the next 2 to 5 days. We'll have to wait and see. And the IDF has begun disrupting GPS signals in Tel Aviv, according to Walla News. This is in preparation for a possible Iranian retaliation strike following the anticipated Israeli strike. And the Washington Post is reporting that the Israeli strike on Iran will be carried out before U.S. elections on November the 5th, an official familiar with the matter said. And the Washington Post also claims that Netanyahu told Biden that the strikes will not be on oil or nuclear sites. We'll have to wait and see if that's true or not. And a senior Israeli official said that the response to Iran's attack will be powerful. And Israel has informed Washington that it will carry out a strong response to the Hezbollah strikes against the military base near Haifa on Sunday. Yesterday, they tried to assassinate the chief of staff of Israel, Herzi Halevi, who was at that base on Saturday for Yom Kippur. So Israel is planning some kind of massive response to this attack. And Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, says that the U.S. is putting the lives of its troops at risk by deploying them to operate U.S. missile systems in Israel. Wow. So the Iranian foreign minister threatening the U.S. And Iran-backed militias targeted the U.S. military base in eastern Syria with suicide drones, which were shot down by air defenses. And this update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply has brought back their 25% discount on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the discount, you have to use the link preparewith NYPrepper.com. And the link is in the description below this video. And this 3-month emergency food supply has a 25-year shelf life with over 2,000 calories per day, all packed inside of 6 rugged water-resistant buckets. Free shipping is included. The normal price is $800. If you use the link, you'll only pay $600 for 3 months of food with free shipping. So use the link preparewithNYPrepper.com to get 25% off of the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply, and the link is in the description below this video. And I want to update you guys on the situation in Europe and also in Asia. We have some things going on over there. So NATO has already begun their tactical nuclear drills. So they're training with various fighter jets on the delivery of the B-61 nuclear gravity bombs, which NATO has several hundred of. And those are American nuclear bombs that are stored in 6 different countries in Turkey, Greece, Italy, the Netherlands, Germany, and I forgot the other one, Belgium, okay? So they have 6 bases with these B-61s, and those B-61s have a blast yield of up to several hundred kilotons, and they're actually working on a new variant of the B-61, which is going to be the Mod 13, and the B-61 Mod 13 is going to be super accurate, but it's also going to have a blast yield of nearly half a megaton. And they have hundreds of these in Europe between those 6 different countries that they could use against Russia, and that's not including the nuclear arsenal of Great Britain, the nuclear arsenal of France, and the nuclear arsenal of the United States, okay? And Russian and Chinese warships conducted joint maneuvers in the Pacific Ocean yesterday, and ex-Russian President Dmitry Medvedev said that negotiating nuclear arms reduction with the U.S. is as useful as discussing a truce with Hitler in 1945. Wow, absolutely insane. Very concerning news coming out of Poland. Poland is going to be doing massive drills on the border of Belarus and Russia. They're going to be testing their new defense line that they started building called the Eastern Shield. And the Polish Prime Minister, Donald Tusk, and the Polish Defense Minister will be overseeing the exercise. And the participants of the drills will practice such elements as crossing the Polish border, an attempt to overcome the enemy's anti-tank ditches and concrete barriers, as well as establishing fire contact, evacuation of damaged equipment, and others. The program also provides for preparation of camouflages and underground mines to undermine roads and bridges, deepening of drainage ditches, collection of bridge structures near water obstacles, preparation of bridgeheads with access roads, and more. Wow, so they're literally practicing crossing into Belarus and overcoming Belarusian anti-tank obstacles, and also establishing fire contact. I mean, just so many different things. This is very serious, guys. Very, very serious drills. These are not, some minor drills. This is very, very serious. And Russia's embassy in Norway has announced on Monday it will reduce its consular staff to 2 diplomats following a demand from Norwegian authorities. The reduction, effective by October 17th, will limit consular services. Norway expelled 15 Russian embassy officials in April 2023, accusing them of operating as intelligence officers under diplomatic cover, a move Russia called extremely unfriendly. Okay, so Russia removing their consular staff from Norway. Only 2 diplomats will be remaining, guys. Okay, so this is a tit for tat because of Norway expelling those 15 Russian embassy officials. So now Russia is pulling out their diplomats from Norway. Not a good sign. And China conducted massive drills around Taiwan yesterday. They did this massive blockade drill where they were practicing a blockade of Taiwan, and they used various assets. Here's a video that was released by the Chinese military showing naval assets, air assets, and army, okay, all working together. Here you can see ballistic missiles being elevated into launch positions. So massive unannounced drill yesterday, practicing a blockade on key ports and areas of Taiwan. And China's Coast Guard said that it dispatched 4 fleets to conduct inspections around Taiwan yesterday. Fleets 2901, 1305, 1303, and 2102 carried out law enforcement inspections in the waters surrounding Taiwan Island in accordance with the law based on the One China principle, Coast Guard spokesperson Liu Dejun said in a statement. So this is very concerning. Taiwan's defense ministry placed its military on full combat alert. They said, quote, "In the face of enemy threats, all officers and soldiers of the country are in full readiness. We are determined and confident to ensure national defense security." And in response to North Korea increasing their readiness of artillery units, South Korea has elevated the readiness posture of South Korean military forces. In South Korea, the Joint Chiefs of Staff issued guidelines to subordinate units to strengthen surveillance and alertness against the North and firepower readiness in response to North Korea's heightened threat level against the South. So basically, yesterday, like I reported, North Korea put a bunch of long-range artillery units on full combat alert, guys. And where is the mainstream media? They are not talking about any of this at all. ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, none of them are talking about North Korea putting their artillery on full combat alert. None of them are talking about China doing these drills around Taiwan, blockade drills, okay, elevating ballistic missiles. This is serious, guys. Very, very serious. This is not a joke, okay? And Ukraine is going to be evacuating 37,000 residents from the Sumy Oblast in northern Ukraine. This is the oblast that borders the Kursk region of Russia, where Ukraine has basically invaded, okay? And according to the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, the Ukrainians are still holding their positions in Russia. Russia has not been able to evict or eject those Ukrainian forces in Russian territory. So that is a huge embarrassment for Putin. And it's very possible also that Putin is allowing this to happen. So he has justification to use weapons of mass destruction like nuclear weapons on Ukraine. Okay, he could just be allowing Ukraine to hold this territory, and now he's just waiting for Ukraine to conduct the deep strikes, which is coming very soon. And once that happens, Putin is going to say, well, I have the justification now. You invaded Russia, you started doing deep strikes, so now I have to resort to using drastic measures, okay? So get prepared, guys. Here we have a video from the Chinese military showing this blockade exercise. You can see all these different squares and rectangles around the island showing where they were practicing their blockades, okay? This is very, very concerning. So want to just share some other flight paths with you guys. We had a lot of NATO equipment flowing into Eastern Europe last night. We had several heavy military cargo planes fly into southeastern Poland last night in Rzeszów, which is the main international airport used by NATO to move Western weapons into Ukraine. We also had some heavy cargo planes going to Latvia, and we also had a lot of reconnaissance over Poland last night and today. Here you can see a Swedish reconnaissance plane patrolling northern and eastern Poland. We also had a lot of reconnaissance and activity over Scotland earlier today. Here you can see a NATO AWACS plane flying off the coast of northern Scotland here, doing loops for several hours. There were also some fighter jets and aerial refuelers here. This is pretty unusual, okay, for there to be an AWACS plane up here. So they were definitely either doing a drill or scanning this area. There must have been some kind of a threat here, maybe a Russian sub, or maybe the Russian fighter jets or bombers tried to approach the UK. And we had a lot of Polish reconnaissance planes patrolling the Polish skies today. Here you can see one Polish recon plane patrolling eastern Poland, and then another one here in central Poland. So we have to keep an eye on Eastern Europe. While all this is happening in the Middle East, we cannot forget about Eastern Europe, okay? That situation is very, very intense, and it's very possible that Putin could use weapons of mass destruction against Ukraine after Ukraine does the deep strikes, okay? So that's the latest information that I have. I do have my 24/7 live stream up right now. And follow me on Telegram and Twitter. The links to my Telegram and Twitter are in the description below this video. I post all of my updates there, so if you follow me there, you'll never miss an update. Sometimes YouTube does not share notifications with everybody, so don't rely on YouTube notifications. And when things go down with Israel and Iran, or Ukraine and Russia, or the Baltics, Poland, North Korea, South Korea, China, Taiwan, whatever, I will be going live and providing live coverage, okay, like I always do. So I will be back tomorrow with more breaking news. So until then, I'll catch you on the flip side. Take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.